Hi. Hey, quick question. Have you noticed how everyone in Helldivers 2 seems to act like light penetration weapons are trash? I mean, I scroll through the comments and it's all, don't touch them, they're useless, they're bad, etc. But here's the thing. I've been messing around with them and honestly, they're way more fun and effective than people give them credit for. So today, I want to show you why light penetration weapons actually work and how they compare to medium penetration like the Penetrator, and maybe convince a few people to give them a try. A quick disclaimer before we jump into testing. Yes, I know you could just equip a machine gun stratagem, Sentry, 500 kg to deal with all the heavy enemies. It's totally fair. But today I really just want to go in depth on the primary weapons and how they handle different enemy types, how light and medium penetration compare, and why they can still be effective on their own. Alrighty, to keep things fair, I ran a few tests. I grabbed the Liberator as my light penetration weapon, and I grabbed the Liberator Penetrator for medium penetration. Tested them against the Automatons, the Illuminate, and the terminids. I wanted to see exactly how they perform, both in ideal scenarios, aka hitting the weak points, and more realistic fights where you're just like spraying and praying a little. Spoiler alert, it was a little bit more interesting than I expected. Okay, so first up, the clinker, I mean the automatons. Yes, the bots, yes. This is where medium penetration usually shines. So with headshots, the Liberator, the light penetration version, killed a shield devastator in just 2 shots to the head. 2 shots to the head! The Penetrator took a little bit longer in the same conditions. From the footage here, it looks about like, 3 to 4. We'll say 3 just to be nice, right? So even against the more armored bots, light penetration can hold its own, especially if you aim for the weak points. Medium penetration still gives you the safety net if you miss though. But the Liberator proves you don't have to rely on it to be effective. Next, the Illuminate. I tested with both weapons hitting the torso, and as you can see here, light penetration actually came out ahead in time to kill. Even when you're not perfectly hitting weak points, the Liberator is strong enough to deal with mid-tier enemies efficiently. It's proof that people might just be dissing light pen a little bit too quickly. I also ran some tests against the bugs just for fun, and here the difference is a lot smaller. Bugs don't really have the kind of armor that makes medium penetration actually shine, so both weapons performed pretty similarly. That being said, medium pen is not useless, it's still, helpful, but it shows that light pen can handle swarms just fine. You don't really need the, medium penetration gun to always deal with the bugs and such, which I don't think most people were even trying to do anyway. Another thing people often overlook is handling and recoil. The Penetrator, compared to the normal Liberator, has much higher recoil, which you can control with attachments, yes, but it's a little trickier to manage in rapid fights. For example, light pen, the Liberator, are easier to handle in tight situations. You can hit the weak points more consistently because it has easier recoil to control. Manage your ammo better, because you do, on average, more damage, so therefore you're not using as much bullets. And you feel like you're in control of the fights more because the ergonomics are usually a little bit better. Sometimes the most fun weapons aren't the ones with the stats that look the best on paper, they're the ones that feel satisfying to use. And as long as you're hitting those proper weak points, it feels very satisfying. And speaking of satisfying to use, this is where Helldivers 2 really shines. The loadout flexibility. You're not limited to one single type of penetration. You can mix and match them as much as you want. For example, you can have one person with medium pen for like devastators and overseers and those type of targets. You can have one person with light pen for swarms and precision weak point damage. Do whatever you want. It's about using what works for your playstyle and complementing your squad, not blindly following the meta. And that's what I really like showing people about light penetration weapons. They encourage skillful, fun play rather than just defaulting to safe options. So why does light pen get such a bad rep anyway? So I think it comes down to 3 main reasons. Number 1, people want a weapon that does everything with pretty much no effort. Humans naturally choose the path of least resistances, Number 2, medium pen feels safer because it's forgiving if you miss weak points. And number 3, let's be real, missing headshots feels bad, so players avoid weapons that punish mistakes. Which is, a totally valid thing. But with a little practice and aiming, light penetration weapons can actually outperform expectations, and that's the fun part. They reward precision, timing, and situational awareness. Yeah, light penetration weapons aren't trash, they're just misunderstood. With proper aim, situational awareness, and a little practice, You can handle both bots, illuminates, and swarms of bugs very efficiently. Now, next time you see someone dismiss them, maybe give one a try. You might just discover a hidden favorite for your loadout. Who knows? If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a like, share it with your squad, and let me know in the comments which weapon is your personal favorite for taking out, medium-sized targets or swarms. Anyway, until next time, dive hard, spread democracy, and don't sleep on light penetration.